I'm very happy to be here this morning. I never studied in this building. This building never existed when I was a student. That used to be in the main city. Now that is Rajaram.
Rajaram talking close to.
Yeah, that is where I studied. And I'll tell you one funny incident. I had appeared for IIT entrance exam twice. So in '69, I was selected. I went to IIT Bombay. I did not like it and came back. And the funny part is that I did not know that I have to take admission or give inter-science. So I go to the class, the teacher says, your name is not there. I said, but I have passed the exam with distinction. So he said, so I went to the registrar, his name was Rahul, Mr. Rahul. He admitted me and he told me, don't make this mistake. I never knew that I'm supposed to take admission. Like you go to school, otherwise I would not have been standing before you. But anyway, next year again I went to IIT because I said I missed something. I got selected and again I went for chemical engineering. But the previous day, I was go to Mumbai. I went to a marriage of my teacher, Ganapati D. He still lives there. His marriage, because he was my teacher in 9th standard. So I went for his marriage and there I met somebody called Shirish Tipnis. He was 1 year senior to me from private school. He asked me, where are you going? I said, I'm going to join IIT Bombay. He said, what course? I said, chemical engineering. And then he said, have you heard UDCP? I had not heard till that day. I had not heard. See, he said, go there also. They have a very good chemical engineering program. So I went to Delhi and after Mumbai, and I stayed in one of my villages in Chal, in Dadar. From there we went by 171 bus, I still remember. And I go to see so-called UDCT, I heard it UCDT. There was no board, nothing, only the yellow stone building. A student was going out, I said, where is UCDT? He got angry with me, he said, don't you know it is UDCT? I was frightened. Believe me, that was the last day and last hour of admissions. And that time, we used to take attested copies. The form was 1 rupee. For chemical engineering, undergraduate to PhD, only one form, multiple columns. I filled it and gave it to the clerk there. He said, we are closing the admission. So I was disappointed. I said, but today is the last day. He said, yes, we have made the list. Let me see your marks and all. And then I don't think he had a pity on me. He said, no, you are in all India list. Your marks are good enough and your number is 9. You will get admission. And I went home. And then I got a telegram after a week that I'm admitted with a hostel admission. So the only reason I went to UDCT because that was 4-year course and IIT was 5-year course. And my father said, we cannot afford that education, go for 4-year course. So you can take a job early. So that is history. But I must also tell you, you should know this, Rajaram College had another student called Professor D.V. Reddy, Dinanath Reddy, who was also UDCT director. But he studied here. He studied here. Because that time, Rajaram College was the only college in this area. So he studied it. He told me that he also is from Rajaram College. And he is the one who chose me as a faculty member, which is a very interesting fact. So Rajaram College has a lot of connection with me and my life. So what I'm going to do today, Citius, Altius, Fortius. How many of you watched Olympics you have watched? Have you known the motto of Olympics? Give them up. Have you heard? That is Citius, Altius, Fortius. Faster, higher, stronger. That is the motto. And everybody in academic world would like to catch up something fast, right? You want to be professor within more time. you want all sorts of grants, you want your college to be one of the best in the country. So I'm going to tell you this, to achieve academic excellence in digitally connected world, because today's world is digitally connected. Gone are the days when I was in Canada, I used to send letters to my father. It would take at least 1.5 months to receive his response. Now even 1.5 minutes we don't wait. Right? Immediately you look at the mobile phone. So how do you achieve that? I'm going to tell you something. So one of the things which our Honorable Prime Minister has been talking about all along is the so-called idea of Vikasit Bharat. By 2047, when India becomes 100 years independent, can we be fully Vikasit? And what is the meaning of that Vikasit? Fully developed nation. We are not yet, but can we be Vikasit? And that's a grand plan, and everybody has a role to play. Academic world has more to do with that than the other thing. Okay? So what it says, hike the manufacturing share in GDP to 25%. It's a tall order. We don't grow at that rate. We grow about 7%, maybe 8%, and this is cumulative growth. Can we grow that fast to become Vikasit Bharat? That is number one. So that is has to be between 13% to 25%. Auto sector from 3.5% to 10%. Biotech and pharma, this will be the biggest area. This will be the biggest area. Although it says only half a 500 billion, half a trillion economy, this may cross beyond 1 trillion. The so-called health sector. Most of us are sick of something, and we take medicine. And where are you going to make this medicine? They will be made in India. India is supposed to be the pharmacy of the world. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of that. Capital goods from about 1.5% to 2.5% in electrical and allied electronics. Well, because you are living in the world of electronics, connected every now and then. But I tell you before I forget, that is, I addressed some students in IIT Patna, and they were first year students, and their director wanted me to address the students. So I said, I'm a chemical engineer. And at the same time, I do many things in chemistry, physics, and mathematics, and biotechnology, and whatnot. So I'm in a better position to tell you. So, and today's world is the AI world, right? So everybody is, and your parents must be thinking, why my ward has not got more marks to be in some AI related courses. I must also tell you something. Parents of these days are most hopeless. They don't have any hope on their kids. They think they have missed the bus. You may be the smartest kid, but for them you are a duffer. Because you did not get into that particular branch, which they wanted themselves. They never got it. But they want, at least you should go. So many kids are depressed, not because they are mentally, not strong, because parents are not mentally strong. Parents are spoiling the kids. And more the educated parents, more dangerous the world is. Doctors' kids, engineers' kids, government officers' kids, they wanted their kids to be better than them. So they will put 1,000 different tuitions. Right? All this, what is happening there, need and whatnot. It is a money game, right? It is a money game. Somebody is paying money to get the question paper out. So that is because of the parents, not because of the kids. The kids are nice. The parents are only spoiling them. They are not happy in anything. So kids are depressed because of that, not because they are mentally not strong, but they are strong. But this is one of the things I am going to talk about. Improve the labor force to 65%. Okay? That is very important. Now we are having AI. So who will do the labor? Will we be using robots to do the things, or will we still be using human power? What has happened last week in China? Chinese government has banned using robots in global affairs. They are banned, officially banned. They said you can use robots, but not by substituting a human being. China has done it. We are far behind in China as far as this is concerned. China is far ahead of us. I go there to China quite often. But achieve 10% of sharing global professional services. So when we talk about IT etc., any kid will say, okay, I'm working in an IT company. What are they doing? They are feeding data. They are feeding data only. So they leave their main course and join there. So a long time ago, maybe about now maybe 15 years ago, I was invited in Delhi by that time the Knowledge Commission. And the Knowledge Commission was planning, introducing, rather establishing more number of IITs. And they said they would have total 23 IITs. So I raised my hand. I said, why 23 IITs? Are you going to stop there or going to do something? I said, the moment you have more number of IITs, you should have more number of management institutions. Because these kids are not going to stay in that manufacturing sector, they will go to management. Believe me, that is going to happen. Even now also it is happening. So you may say, my son is in IIT, etc., but what is he doing? And everybody wants to be in AI and ML. I tell you last year, this year I don't know the statistics, but last year statistics I do know. Out of the top 100 students who qualified advanced JEE, 71 went to IIT Bombay. So what did, and these IITs are hello, not the top original 5, then 6, then 7, and then all these IITs. So-called first year IIT, second year and third year IIT. So the IIT Madras is one of the best IITs. I like that IIT. I used to chair one of the centers there. So they said, if all these good kids are going to IIT Bombay, we should do something. So they invited the parents, the wards, they gave them airfare, put them in the best of the hostels or hotel, whatever it was, and they took a round of the IIT. So they were attracting good students. They said from top 100 students, at least some should come to IIT Madras. Then I had a DST meeting. I chaired some committees of DST. I was in IIT Hyderabad, and the director is saying, sir, how do you still attract students to ICT Mumbai? Do you have some special formula? I said, I have retired now, but I can tell you the formula. Then I said, they said, sir, top 500 students of the JEE do not go to IIT Hyderabad. It's a very good IIT. I said, happy. He said, but we want at least some people to come to. I said, the only way you can do is give free education to them. They will come. If you say total free ship for 4 years, people will come. Everybody wants free thing, right? Everybody. So the meaning, what I'm trying to convey to you is that it has degenerated to some level where we think only one branch is good enough. All other branches are bad. All other colleges are bad. And we have so many students studying in colleges. Do you want to say that only IIT is the best? What about other institutes? So nobody is giving thought to that. Nobody is giving thought to that. We have created this halo that, IIT means is a bright school. And so many people are nervous wrecks there. And they also have another problem. Actually I used to tell them because I chaired some committee where IIT directors were members of my committee. I said, you are making a mistake. Don't allow the students to change the discipline. Once they are in, so they had a provision when after first year, you can go to another discipline. So these kids will work day and night. So everybody wants to go to AI and computer science and engineering, CSE, that is the most popular discipline. But not everybody is failing and others can go. Maybe one or two can get. what happened to the others? They are again nervous. So most of the kids at the end of second year in IIT decide to change IIT and go for management. They don't want to continue with the damn discipline. Because chemical engineering students, I have interacted with them, they are telling me, sir, our professors are not as passionate about their discipline as you are. I said, look, my personal belief is that whatever discipline, whatever course you follow, whatever degree you do with utmost passion, 100% you give to that. 100%. Then only you will succeed, not otherwise. So I was going to USA and my younger son was in 12th grade. So I was worried whether I should go to USA. I had a very good offer. So my wife said, go. You don't worry about the kids. Do well, go and do well. Now, any mother would not say that when the kid is in the 12th standard. She said, go. We'll keep in touch with you. I went. And you know what my wife told the kids? You do not have to be professor or scientist like your father. You can be a jhaduwala, but be the best jhaduwala. Do the job utmost with intensity. You don't worry about anything. You become anybody, but be the best in that profession. And this famous quote I always say, be a jhaduwala, but be the best jhaduwala. It is not necessary that you have to follow your father's profession. It is not at all. In fact, you may have some other talent. So what I'm trying to tell you, parents are making you nervous. So you should brainwash your parents first. Okay? You be realistic. What I'm trying to do is be realistic. If you do not have inclination for mathematics or anything, you cannot be an engineer. Engineering means a lot of mathematics is required. Right? But it does not mean that chemistry is bad or physics is bad. No, that is what I'm trying to tell you. So last but not least, increase the female labor force. Unfortunately, we are being highly discriminatory towards the female folks. In India, the girl is always taken as pariah dhan, parke dhan. If she gets educated, you say, if she gets highly educated, we have to give more dowry. We have another evil in our society. We have to give more dowry. So let her not study, only limited study. Very traditional view. Unfortunately, our society is very. So now what I'm trying to tell you, you may have the best syllabus. Whatever you are doing here, do to the best of your ability. You will succeed. You must have the faith in yourself, in your ability. Nobody is a bad student. Professors make the students bad. Am I right? Most of you, I know most of you like that statement. Because the professor is coming and same lecture, writing on the board, no jam, the thing is there, okay, and the professor is happy, he has finished the portion. You finish the portion, that is your job. Whether the student has understood or not, it is not at all good. So this is very interesting. So look, heavily content heavy education, syllabus driven. So I know in your common room, professor's common room, you always say, Sampolas Kagal, portion Sampolas Kagal. Correct? And the other lady say, we Sampola Kala Sampola. Can get golden honor, right? That means I have done my job. Now it is up to the student to reproduce in the examination. That's what content driven, degree centric. You want degree, BSc or BA or whatever, that is what you say, I'm going to get my BSc. And no skill, there is no skill. You don't know what to do with that degree. Most of the time, programs are there where you say management program, management training. Why there is a management training? Because the person doesn't know anything. Now, NEP 2020 is the biggest turning point. Skill-based learning, multidisciplinary flexibility. So you like chemistry, but at the same time, you like something else. Right? You do that. That is, so you have a choice. In fact, I don't know whether you introduce multidisciplinary major and minor. Have you done
Yes.
major and minor? So maybe you are interested in music. Go and do that. That is a very good idea. I implemented first. Yeah, we became later. I implemented first when I see campus in Bhubaneswar and Jalna. So it is a 5-year, 15 trimester. And believe me, trimester system is the best. Semester system is hopeless. I tell you, semester. I've been telling government and everybody that do not have semester system. I tell you why. Semester system means 10 months. 2 months are free. Some are 2 months. These are the worst months in your life if you are a teenager. You fall prey to all sorts of bad habits. All sorts of bad habits. And you get spoiled. If your mind is kept engaged during those 2 months, that's the system in trimester. I have got slides, but I must tell you right now only, that is in trimester every 4 months, that is 13 weeks, you cover the portion, because it depends on how many credits you have for the degree. I don't know how many credits you have. You can introduce many things. And students are every alternate term, the student goes to industry, and there he takes training, and then so that you can admit twice the number of students. So what I did, I'm telling from my own experience, that in the I said 15 trimester, 5-year program, dual degree, bachelor, BTech, MTech, right? So what happens? The first trimester, kids are together, they are divided A and B, equal number. In the second trimester, half of the class go to industry. The remaining remains in the class, so class becomes half. And that class goes to industry, learns tricks. Again, next trimester they come back, the syllabus is repeated for them. Like this, you go up to the 13th trimester. 14th and 15th they come together. So actually you are classmates for only 1 year. And in the last trimester, you can do anything, including startup, innovative programs, whatnot. And during this time, you get industrial experience of 6 different industries. 2 years experience. I did it in 2018. This was introduced in 2020, and only now government has implemented it. My first batch, 20 students got full scholarship to do PhD in USA. Full scholarship. Not a single penny was spent. And the others got very good job in industry because they developed that connectivity. So that is my formula. According to me, that is the best formula because our kids are young and they are distracted by so many other things. So they will keep themselves occupied. They learn different tricks. In fact, they become members of the syllabus revision committee because they can come and tell, sir, no, whatever you are teaching is no good. Industry has moved far away. And see what I did in the first trimester, because I said you will learn MathCAD, you will learn R, you will learn advanced instrumental methods of analysis, everything. So when they go to the industry, they knew what is GC, what is MS, what is all those things, and so they contributed. Very interestingly, 2 of the students got patents in the very second trimester. That was the advantage because and kids are not afraid of trying. They are not going to fail, right? So this was the idea. So experiential pedagogy, academic, and that is how you develop academic industry connectivity. Industry looks at academics, they think they are not going to help us. They don't have much respect for academics because they are not connected with the real world. So that is, and the future will be skill first university. This is going to happen sooner than later. So you will have to invent. And now you are an autonomous college? No, but there also you can have academic autonomy? It is management.
We applied for it.
I'm telling you that everybody wants power. Vice Chancellor one power, Registrar one. They should do it. They should make as many colleges autonomous as possible. Then they can, because they can go the success of the college.
हे गव्हर्नमेंट कॉलेज आहे.
So what?
बाहेर नाही पण शिवाजी विद्यापीठाने बरेच कॉलेजेस ऑटोनॉमस केले.
You know what happened? That when they made some 70 colleges autonomous,
आहे तिथे
they,
युनिव्हर्सिटी सुद्धा
I
केली.
know that time that Vijay Saurabh was the secretary, they called me to address the teachers. I went and I said, whosoever has got NAC or MBA, whatever NAC, A degree, A, give them autonomy. You don't send another, panel. It is waste of time.
Same thing.
It is waste of time, So actually they gave something. And Mumbai University have some empowered autonomous colleges.
We have also Shivaji also.
Good, good. If you are doing, that is what you should. Rajaram College deserves it. Give my name as a person contractors. Competent graduates, high employability, innovation and entrepreneurship. Actually, our problem is what? We want government jobs. Everybody wants highly corrupt system. Highly corrupt system. Why don't you create your own employment? Why don't you think that I can be an employer? That should be your objective. That should be the objective. And national development. So look at this. So Citius, Altius, Fortius, your role is to push toward faster and more efficient effort. Your job is that. That is Citius. Higher, aim higher, challenge. If now you say Shivaji Rajaram College is not in that autonomous college, say him immediately. We will be autonomous. Go and meet the Vice Chancellor. Yeah, you should do that. And stronger, build strength and support. So you should be stronger. So contact your alumni, call them, arrange lectures by them. The students must always be encouraged. They should say that, okay, I want to go to the school. I will tell you my personal story. You would not believe it. I hated school back then. I would not go to the school. So the kids from our primary school, they will come home to lift me. Char tangdiya, and they lifted me and took to the school. First standard. We did not have that elementary and whatever, okay? And I was sitting, my mother was happy the kid is taken. My mother only called the teacher, lift him. And so the Guruji, he opened a cupboard and took out a very nice story book, Tikoji Ram. And he started reading Tikoji Ram. And the Tikoji Ram was sitting on a donkey and there was a carrot there. I liked that story very much. And the Guruji said, tomorrow we'll have another story. I liked that story so much. I never miss my school. I said there's a lot of fun. So kids will be happy to go to the school or college provided the madam says, alright, tomorrow I'm going to tell you a very nice story. This is one of the ways of making people interested in your subject. Remember the stories of the scientists, the phenomenon, what they did. They will be very, very happy to listen to that story. Otherwise, they read everything else in the textbook. It is there. What is your role? Your role is to make them interested in your subject. So why not tell the story? How did it happen? Why did it? Like sometimes people say, now everybody remembers Newton and the apple falling from the tree. Has anybody not heard this? Everybody has heard Newton and the apple. That is not a true story. Why only that apple? No, Newton was spending time in his farmhouse because there was a cholera plague rather, and for 18 months he was thinking. But they made a very nice story. So everybody remembers Newton and the apple, but nobody knows that it is not a true story. Like George Washington, right? They say he went to cut the tree and they said, oh, you are cutting. That is also a nonsensical story. It is not true. But we remember that because it has been told in such a nice way that you think it must be true. So what you should do, you should tell stories to your students. Sometimes you make your own story, but it is an interesting story related to that, so that students will remember. Right? Everybody remembers, but at the same time, if there is a story connected with the inventor, the scientist, you will remember it more. No matter which subject. Even in mathematics, it may be a dry subject, but you have story related to that. So that is what I am trying to tell you. And so now, this is the triple helix. That is industry, academia and government. We talk about it all the time. So why industry should invest in your college? And there are ways and means of doing it. Now there is something called a CSR scheme, Corporate Social Responsibility, where you can, the government has stipulated 2% of the profits can be spent on corporate social responsibility. And there are subjects like, for example, rural development, women's education, tribal development. There are many ways. Okay? My personal belief is that that money should be made 3%. Nowadays I am changing that number. I am saying make it, I have been saying it for last 15 years. Maybe it should be made 4%. And additional 2% or 1% should be given to higher education, universities, colleges in your area, so that they do research. They become partners in so-called IPR, intellectual property right. You can have joint patents and you exploit it. And a trimester system, another thing I tell you, very interesting. The professor will teach only 2 trimesters. 1 trimester is free. That trimester, that professor will go to industry, spend time there, learn, develop connectivity, and come back. Or do high-grade research, be in the lab. All other things are applicable. And now, unfortunately, India as a country has so many holidays. Correct? We have so many holidays. You cannot cut anybody's holiday. But we know that most of the time, maybe the religious ceremonies for half an hour or one entire day we enjoy. So let them be on holiday. Make use of this, digital technology. Record your lectures. Let the students see those lectures. Let them see that way. Online they can join. Let them not come. So that there are many ways by which we can make use of this modern technology in education, higher education for that matter. But remember, I also know this, that a lecture attended physically is far more interesting and appealing than the online lecture. The online batches 2 years, they were the worst kind of graduates we created. Nobody knows whether they studied or not, or copied and passed and got flying colors. Shivaji University has one jerky degree, correct? That is what somebody told me, jerky degree. The entire thing was burned down. Mumbai, I don't know, somewhere that jerky degree was there. I remember that. That was from Mumbai. Is it? Yeah. Not from Shivaji. Anyway, I don't know, but anyway, corrected me.
It is correct, Mumbai.
They gave average grade to everybody. Everybody was passed. So that online lectures now, it is like that. The student will put it on, go home, go to the canteen, enjoy, come back, and you will see that only the camera light off. You see that thing linked. You don't see anything. So during that time, I must have given so many online lectures. So one day, I did not go to my office for 2 years. Only once I went during that COVID. So 2 students came to me, sir, hello sir, how are you? I said, who are you? They said, sir, we are your students. Well, I have not seen their faces. I have not seen their faces. So online education, in the class you can question, you can ask questions, you can have eye-to-eye contact. Online there is nothing. So online lectures is a hopeless idea. It is good that we say now UGC say 40% you can have online courses, right? But I don't know how effective they are. I would not go for it because you may have a bad teacher. I am telling you that also. Student, listen to me. You may have a bad teacher, but that teacher is one lesson ahead of you. Correct? At least the teacher has studied one night before and come to the class. So the teacher is ahead of you always. But it depends on how the teacher passes on the knowledge to you. So this is academia, industry and government. And government has to give support. We are supposed to spend 6% of GDP on education. We are not doing that. We are just having 0.69. And so many vacancies. No teachers, contractual teachers. Somebody comes, you are also happy, portion is low. Your principal job is what? The portion complete kela na. Who has taught? Nobody bothers. Nobody bothers. That is the sad part of our higher education policy. So, skill development means going beyond degree. Do you know any other skill than just that piece of degree, piece of paper? What are those? Degree is not equal to employability. Degree does not mean you can be employed. You are just happy that you got a degree, BA, BSc, and in the marriage patrika you can write all your degrees. On the contrary, there is a competition. Well, everybody, and in villages, if you don't write your neighbor's name or your, okay, everybody's name is there, otherwise they will not come for your marriage. So everybody, including kids born yesterday also, their names are there. So, skill creates job faster. You must have a skill. So these days, people are talking about AI, ML. I would say, AI and ML is not going to substitute manufacturing. It is not going to do anything else. The only thing it will give you speed. Speed is there. So to make use of that to get speed, but then assimilate that knowledge, you cannot do without it. And then industry and academia alignment, that is another thing. If you are graduates, go to the industry for internship. So I am also telling you something which I coined a new term called SIR, S-I-R. That is Student Internship Responsibility. All industries and government should have a program where now I was talking about 2% going to 3%, extra 1%. 0.2% of that should be used for SIR, Student Internship Responsibilities. That is, every student who goes for internship should get 5,000 rupees a month. Started. Otherwise, in the previous model, wherever there was internship, what people did, they went to the factory or wherever, they registered their name, first day and the last day they went and got a certificate. Degree completed, internship program completed. So you completed the formality but had nothing to do with industrial internship. So here what will happen? Because they are getting money that is linked to your attendance, you will go to the industry. We will learn something new. Okay? And some people can, so economic growth we can, demographic dividend. So skilled youth will be an asset to the nation. Okay, that is what I am trying to tell you. So now, national education policy, schooling structure, foundational, preparatory, middle and secondary. 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. On holistic and multidisciplinary, flexible curriculum, focus on critical thinking. That is most important part. And mother tongue as a medium of instruction. Mother tongue. Now, this is where most of the people are getting wrong. They think if you educate your kid in English medium school, he will be very good, great asset to the nation. The mother doesn't know English, father doesn't know English, grandfather doesn't know English, but the kid is going to the English medium school. So whatever he says, he may be bluffing also. The kid is never educated. Neither he is good at Marathi or English. Both languages. English is because if you are not good at your own language, you cannot be good at somebody else's language. That is a rule of language. If you pick up, if you are smart, you can pick up. I studied languages through etymology. That is roots of words. I studied that. I was very, very attentive about languages. I write very good English, I write very good Hindi, I will write, and Sanskrit and whatnot, but I studied it from etymology, roots of words. Okay? So then coding and life skills. So anyway, everybody is doing that. So these days you take it as an additional skill. It is an additional skill. So people said once, that long time ago, they said, well, now computers have come, people will lose their jobs. Never it happened. They gave additional job. Same thing happened in that. Now we are in the so-called industry 4.0, industry 1.0, 2.0, etc., etc. People say they burn factories because they said now the artisans will not get jobs because they are making in the factory. That happened in Manchester, in United Kingdom. So you see that people have evolved, but always opposed to the new idea. And I give you the best example of new idea. How many of you seen X-ray machine or gone to the hospital and you are X-ray done? Dentist, I'm sure he must have done X-ray. Right? Everybody has seen X-ray. So in the year about 1908 to 10, there was a big procession in the state of New Jersey in the United States. Ladies had a procession, morcha. They went to the governor's home and they said, down with this X-ray machine. Don't use X-ray machines in hospitals. So authorities were worried. What is the reason? They said, this, the technical staff and doctors are mischievous. They are seeing dead woman's bodies naked. That was the misconception. So then they showed them the X-rays. Only the bones, they see, nothing else. So they allowed X-ray machine. That is why X-rays were used in hospitals. Now here comes World War II. Now this, you have seen MRI, everybody goes to the hospital and MRI is very expensive. But actually MRI is not MRI. It is NMRI, nuclear magnetic resonance imaging. Now the government was worried because Nagasaki and Hiroshima had happened, their bombs, so people collated atomic weapon, bomb to nuclear world. Even now also, if you say nuclear, you immediately think of atom. So they said, let us drop nuclear. So NMRI became MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. So it was accepted. Magnetic MRI is actually nuclear magnetic. But the word nuclear was there so that society accepts it. Because societal opinion is very important. So in everywhere it is the same thing. If you tell the society anything in a proper manner, so that they will accept it. Okay? So yes, higher education reform, technology integration, so digital learning and online education. Now you can learn anything online. But who is going to evaluate you? Somebody has to evaluate you. So you know what happened? During that COVID time, I also used Google Proctor. I said, let me conduct the examination. And but you know what I did? I chose the questions in such a manner that they will not be able to copy. So in my subject, out of 15 marks, there were 0 marks as well as 15 marks. But in somebody else's examination, everybody got the same mark. Because they are copied. So what it means, the person who sets the question paper must be more intelligent. Short made large. Short note, write short note. Write short note. So you know, write short note means write anything under the sun, whatever you know, and the teacher should pick up from that. Because student also doesn't know the exact answer, teacher also doesn't know. Okay, so short note is always a bad form of education. Or asking question. Question should be open-ended. The same question will have 100 different answers. That is open-ended. Open-ended. So, in fact, you ask your student, design your own question and answer it. And you will find that majority of them cannot design their own question. They cannot design their own question. So that is another thing. So, and inclusive education, equity and access for all. And quality and innovation. So since I was talking about, Citius, Altius, Fortius, how do we make education most appealing and students can learn from every lesson? They should be eager to enter the classroom. You know what is the attention span of students in the classroom? What is the attention span?
8 minutes.
Any question? How many minutes? 15? 20 minutes?
8 minutes.
8 minutes? 7 minutes maximum. You can give 8 minutes provided the teacher is nicely dressed. It can be both man and woman, right? Or he or she makes it so interesting. So today's education is not giving lectures in the classroom. I have so many slides. I'm not looking at them. It is how you convey the message. It is a participative learning. So you can do something. If you are afraid of doing that, give them your lecture rules. You say, read and come tomorrow. They never come? No. You say attendance is compulsory. Okay, and then ask them questions. Because I tell you what happens. Many times, students coming from vernacular medium, they don't know how to ask questions. They are afraid. They are afraid, first of all, their language. Afraid if they ask any question, they may be termed as fools. Most of the students don't ask questions because they are afraid they will be termed as less intelligent. So I recommend so many of my students to go to United States for higher education and all. And every year I get some emails, they say recommend some good student and all. So first thing they say, Professor Yadav, your student is doing well, etc., etc. But they don't open their mouth. They don't question the professor. In the Western world, you have to question the professor. In our world, if you question the professor, agao mulga disto. That is what we say, correct? We are not allowing the student to ask any question. And particularly students coming from vernacular medium or maybe villages and rural area, they never ask any question. They are afraid. They are afraid of asking questions. Every year I used to call parents on the very first day. Did you attend the meeting? I was there? No.
Yes, for orientation.
You had come? Okay. So I tell my people who say come parents and students, I used to tell them, I studied in Marathi medium. Do you believe that I studied in Marathi medium? I am from a village. Do you believe that I am from a village? You won't believe it. At the same time, I say, everybody is a star in their village, lane, gully, Kolhapur, Rajarshi, whatever, landowner. You will start somewhere. The moment you think you are smarter than your neighbor, the neighbor may know sitting better tricks than you. And in our system, if there are 120 students we admit for a course, everybody cannot be number one. Somebody will be number one, somebody will be number 120. It does not mean that 120 number is bad student. No, it's not bad. Our system has decided how to grade them. So I had one student, I must tell you this story, very interesting story. He would not pass my exam at all. 6 times, and now he's the only student left in that course. So one day he came and he said, sir, I am failing in your subject. I said, I said this easiest question paper so that you pass. Now you are the only one left in this class. So he says, sir, I am really afraid. You are a Maharashtra student. काहीतरी करून मला पास करा. And I pitied him. I said, no, you work hard. Come. Well, there was a regular. He came and somehow I passed it. I said, let him go to the next. So he finished his degree. And several years thereafter, maybe about 15 years, one tall, hefty fellow came with appointment. He said, so he came and he said, sir, how are you? I know this fellow, but you are looking different. And he started talking on my research. He said, I want to give a research problem, you be our consultant. Okay? And you saw this. And then he said, sir, you are not recognize me. I said, I think I know your face, but I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. So he said, sir, I'm the same student who failed 6 times in your class. And he was the R&D head. So he was not a bad student, only thing he was afraid of telling those things. So my advice to you, no student is a bad student. We make the student good at it. How many minutes I have spoken so far?
50.
Bolo? Yeah, I can still continue, right?
I
I mean, okay. I did not know, you never told me how many minutes I'm supposed to talk. But anyway, so I'll tell you something. So how AI could be integrated in education? That is personalized learning. AI can tailor lessons to suit. So it can tailor lessons to suit the individual requirements. Okay? You can make use of it. You know, I asked AI, are you stupid? So the answer I got, yes. Many times I'm stupid, it depends on the question. AI gave me that. So AI means you use that AI also you require brain. What kind of AI is based on what? It is based on database. The wrong database is there, it will always give wrong answer. If the correct database is there, access, and it depends. You ask the same question 10 times, you will get 10 different answers. 10 different answers. Because each time the algorithm is developed in such a way, it will go and access some database. Sometimes it may access Rajaram College database, sometimes College database, sometimes another college. Okay? So that is another thing. Smart content creation. This is very important. You can create very smart content in your courses by using it. Which may not be in the book. It may not be prescribed in the syllabus. Now this is another, earlier I said content-driven syllabus. So university says use this only. And university also gives references. Use this book, that book, right? Yeah, there's nonsense about it. Because why we are doing it? Because most of the people are not able to think independently. They are doing routine jobs, so we do that. Automated assessment. Now this is another interesting thing. Provided in the open-ended question you will not get it, but in the closed, yes, mathematics you can get the same answer, but not in the tutoring and support. So you can create tutors for yourself, like pronunciation of words or something. The AI can tutor you. AI can tell you do this, do that, repeatedly without the actual physical tutor. You have to give him a cup of tea and all those things. This tutor doesn't need anything. So you can do that. And adaptive learning. So can adjust the difficult lessons, can break down into easy lessons. And maybe those who are really unfortunate, do not have monetary support, their parents are not rich, very poor parents, they can make use of it. That is the advantage. That is the advantage. But I will also caution you, AI is not substitute for a good teacher. So don't worry, your jobs will remain there. AI cannot substitute a good teacher. Good teacher is a good teacher. A teacher with flesh and blood will always be superior to a teacher which is AI. So I recall reading a very interesting book called Think Tank. This Linden. David Linden is the author of that book. It is a collection of 40 essays, and all these essay writers are scientists. These are neuroscientists. So they are given the development of brain right from childhood. Right from childhood. Starting from embryo, going through ages, teenager, then adult and whatnot. And there is one interesting essay, I forgot the name of the author, but he was an Italian author, settled in USA. And he gave a very interesting analysis of brain development. And he said, everybody has given us their own idea of how brain is developed, how the neurons, 3 billion neurons, how they work, how they coordinate. So fascinating history of brain, very fascinating. He said, the natural intelligence and I cannot be substituted by artificial intelligence. Never in the history. So we are safe. We may do calculations which are faster, answers which took say 1 minute, maybe within a fraction of, by the time you finish the typing, answer is there. That is speed. But it does not mean, because human mind is so chaotic. While sitting in this classroom, your mind might be roaming somewhere else. Correct? You are laughing. Am I right? It can happen. It can happen to anybody. You are not interested. So you think, when is this guy going to finish the lecture? Right? So this is very interesting. Because, everybody wants to be smart. Everybody wants to be rated highly. Everybody wants to get a good job. Nothing wrong in that. But I will tell you, do it ethically. You never leave ethics. Never leave ethics. So, that is what is lacking today. Because I edit some journals, the editor-in-chief of that journal, and I get papers. I'm telling you this very story, and I will stop. And I will allow you to ask me questions. What does it say? We have a war with Pakistan. Sindhu, right? And I get an article, research article, written by author from India, Pakistan, Azerbaijan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia. I get an article, research article. And then authors may be more than 20. So I said, how on earth these people must have collaborated to write this? Correct? How on earth? Sometimes Iran also. There is no communication is there, and the authors have come together. Good. It was piece of garbage. I'm telling you, piece of garbage. So I questioned, I said, how on earth did you write this paper? Who did the experiments? Who wrote the paper? What is the role of each author in that paper? I rejected. Till today, nobody has contacted. I must have rejected more than 350 papers like this. Where and why are they doing it? Because that so-called NIRF, they get marks. Multidisciplinary, multi-institutional, all humbug. I'm telling authorities, don't do that nonsense. It is useless because people are resorting to this all unethical practices. You put my name, I will put your name. What is this nonsense? That is not acceptable to me. I reject 350 papers, not a single author has contacted me. I said, no, you have done unethical. And they accepted. They might have done more than that. So ethics is most important in your life. Do not do something for short gain. It will hound you throughout your life. You might cheat somebody, got extra marks and all, and then you say, "Arey, I'm smarter than that girl, neighboring girl. She was smarter than me, but I got more marks." Right? But you cheated. You might get through. You might go to some other level. But that will hound you all your life. So teach your students ethical behavior. Even if they remain absent and they give a valid reason, it is acceptable. It is acceptable. Because you cannot be good all the time. But at the same time, accepting mistakes is the most important thing. Even the teacher should accept the mistake. Because these days, students find if the teacher is telling a lie. Because they have this mobile phone, everybody looks at it. Arey, if the teacher is telling a lie, your impression is gone forever. So in today's world, AI-driven, ML-driven world, we have to be very careful. Both teachers and students they must behave ethically. They must be in search of new knowledge every day, because knowledge is changing every day. In the case of pharmaceutical industry, every 71 days new knowledge is coming. So sometimes earlier prescription is something else. They said that disease was caused by weather. Whole ideas have been changed overnight. Whole ideas have been changed overnight. And this is the world where knowledge economy, what we call it. Knowledge is going to drive the nations and mankind to the next level. So be ethical. With these few words, I stop here. And if anybody has any questions, you can ask. And I told you that. You don't have to be afraid for asking questions. I'm not going to label you by anything, because you should ask questions. If you think the question is stupid, it is the most intelligent question. That means you are thinking in a different way. You are not thinking in a regular way. Yeah. Anybody? Yeah, you are hungry.
What are ethics and how did you define the ethics in your term?
Very good question. Supposing parents told you don't steal. That means it belongs to somebody else. Don't steal it. You can steal somebody else's knowledge also. You can copy somebody else and give it as your, assignment. So once ICT, parents came to me. The kid was gold medalist in chemistry Olympiad, and his mother came. He said, "Sir, you are harsh on my son." I said, "What happened?" You know what he had done? He had stolen somebody else's journal. He had not attended a single class, and the first page he changed with his name, which is unethical. His mother should have told, "This is wrong." She's coming and defending him. So, and she's telling me my son is, gold medalist. I said, it is all history. You may have been number 1 in 10th standard or number 0 in first standard. It doesn't mean anything. Your son has stolen somebody else's journal, changed the name and put his own name, and he's claiming that it is his journal. And the other boy, he cannot appear for the exam because he doesn't have his journal. So I investigated. I found a student had done the same thing previous year. But my colleagues did not bring that case to my attention. They took care of it, and they allowed the student to appear for it. And I said, last year these people have made a mistake. They should have brought it to me. I would have told him. I'm not going to condone him. He is destroying somebody else's life. Are you not ashamed of that? And you are justifying that he is gold medalist in Olympiad? It doesn't matter to me. You can go home. I rusticated this student, believe me. I felt sad, but it is. Then there was another case. We have this caste, creed, race, religion. Somebody took admission in some other caste name. His kid is in third year, and the court result came. They said cancel his admission because he destroyed somebody else's life. Mother came to me. The boy was staying in the hostel. I was a hostel warden also. Said, "Sir, please allow. Now just 1 year is only." I said, "No. First of all, you cheated. You know that it was not right. You gave false certificate, and he's caught. Just to go home. I send him home. That is ethics." But there was another student who said, "Sir, I am telling." He was ethical. You are a teacher? Look like a teacher to me. Yeah, anybody else? Yeah, yes, please. Loudly.
As you say, like teachers should be innovative and in different ways that engaging students properly. But all the time when a student gets innovative or learns in different way and present it in different way, the mind teachers in the exam and at the last moment is saying that they want the answer as the way in the guide, as the way in the textbook, and in those structures, and the marks are taken deducted.
Yeah. For that, the teacher has to be more understanding. The teacher has to analyze that answer, okay, and say this kid is better. I tell you, my own son, he is a fantastic writer of English. So when he was in SSC, he wrote a fantastic piece. And his teacher called him, he said, don't write like this. You will not get marks because the examiner will not get. So whatever is told, you cram to your memory and write that only. He's a fantastic writer now, he's a professor, but he writes fantastic English because his English is Shakespearean pattern. But he learned it as a young kid because I used to give him to read many things. I remember this because the teacher calling him and telling, don't write like this, you will not get marks. So 4 plus 5 is 9. 5 plus 4 is not 9. Because that is how you are conditioned. You are told to write. I don't know how the people can get 100 marks in languages. Shakespeare failed in that. How do you get it? Because it is structured. They say if this word is there, this word is this word, and you give 100%. So that way you cannot make independent thinkers. And many times the so-called scholars, later on, they fumble and they don't do anything good because then they are always arrogant. I have seen many students who are always arrogant. So in one of my exams, one student came to me and said, sir, how can you give me C grade? I said, who are you? I said, who are you? I said, I am a student in your class, but I don't take any roll call. I said, if you want to attend, otherwise I don't care. I am number 1 student. So I looked at his paper and I said, I think I should have given you D. I gave you C. So he said, I am the number 1 student. And I am sorry to say, he went abroad and that university removed him for unethical practices. Unethical. There was another student who wrote beautiful answer, but there he was wrong, but he wrote like a lawyer. So I called him. I said, Arey, you are written a paper, you look like a lawyer to me. You are defending wrong thing, but you are defending them scientifically. You know what he said? Sir, nobody is giving me a letter of reference to go abroad. Can you give me a letter of reference? I said, I will give you because you are independent. And you believe me, he became a very big person in America. He became a CEO of a company whom professors were not ready to give a letter of reference. And I gave him. I said, you are very good. You are a very good student. So that happened because he was ethical. He was honest.
Do you really think we will be Viksit Bharat by 2047?
Very good question. I want to live that long, number 1. to see that it will be, I tell you, we have to change so many things. It is possible provided we add to the economy. So we have so many states, right? At least 5 of these states must have economy more than $5 trillion. We are only $4.2 trillion. $5 trillion means Maharashtra is one of them. Gujarat is another. Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu. These states can make together, provided they are all well-educated people. They contribute to the growth of the economy. It is not, but they must do it. They must do it, and it is possible. We have to change our mindset. Unfortunately, we are more westernized than the Western people. Correct? We are more westernized. I think our life is good. Sometimes, I find mothers talking with their kids in English just to show that they are educated. Right? They are talking English. So once I was at the airport, and I know that lady was Maharashtrian, her husband, they were talking to each other in Marathi, but with the kid in English. So I said, Madam, why are you doing that? Don't you think, I'm just telling you piece of advice, talk to your kid in Marathi. He will learn. He can always learn English. She looked at me with an angry expression. Who is this character telling me I should speak in Marathi? Okay? No. So we have many things. We have many oddities in our society. And one of the things which we should get rid of is corruption. If we could get rid of corruption, India can be a great nation. India is highly corrupt nation. Yeah. Yes, miss. Yeah.
Nowadays, so many research papers are being published, and based on that, so many people are getting award PhD, that is doctor of philosophy, and everything should have some. That research should have some philosophy, and what I see is every research should be a problem solver or a solution to a problem. Like maybe it may be from humanities or the commerce or the trade or the science itself. But nowadays, most of the researchers are getting published, but they are not problem oriented or any answer is not there to those questions. So
And
what
I tell you,
are those?
good question. I tell you, good question. You know, I was once called, sit down please, sit down. I was once called by one IIM, Lucknow, to talk to the leaders of universities, vice chancellors. They were vice chancellors being trained, I was called. And so, you know, they were all like Central University vice chancellors and all. So they came and he that fellow introduced me, and I said, who decides the standard? And I said, who decides the standard of research? Who decides the standard of research? So academic council, board of studies, a different thing. So I said, that professor was telling me, I said, you are absolutely wrong. Standard is decided by the individual, university or academic body, their incidental. Who sets the examiners? Somebody gives the name. If that fellow's standard is low, he will give a name of his friend who can give a very nice report. Perhaps he will write the report and send it to him. He will sign and give it back, and we give the degree. So we are dishonest. So standard is decided by the person. Suppose I want to publish paper in a good journal, I have to work very hard. In fact, last night I was working on something. So I have to work on it. Otherwise, I can put my name as an author and that can put it. So I said standard is decided by individual. In the same university, there will be papers written with very high standard, best journal, and there are also papers written by somebody else. They have low impact factor, whatever you call it, low quality. So individual must have very high standard. Universities are incidental. Now what happened? Ultimately, after the lecture was over, that fellow started and came to me and started arguing. I said, Professor, I'm just telling you that standard is decided by me or my students. When to give the degree is decided by me. University doesn't say anything. Vice Chancellor doesn't say anything. So I must have high standard. Afterwards, the director of that IIM told me, sir, do you know who that fellow was? I said, I don't know. He said, he's the vice chancellor of a very big university. He gave the name. I didn't want to tell that to you. You want to know something? He was removed within the next 3 weeks. That vice chancellor. Because he had absolute low standards. But he was busy because somebody is blessing you. So I think individuals decide the standard. I decide the standard where to publish. I have to work hard on getting the article to be published. I have to tell my students that way. Otherwise, you can always give degree to the most useless person. There are cases where the PhD thesis is written by the guide. There are some politicians who have got PhD degrees, but the thesis is written by the guide, and one of those guys told me, I wrote the thesis. I said, are you not ashamed of yourself? Just because that person was a politician, you gave a degree and you are telling me that you wrote the thesis? But officially degree is given by the university. So individual must have high standard. Anything else? Yeah, did I answer your question? बोला मी पाणी पिऊ शकतो का बोला
त्याचा युथनी जी नवीन जनता पार्टी काढलेली आहे CJP पॉप्युलर जनता पार्टी they have protested for their rights. So as per your point of view, is the youth has done it in correct way or not? Youth has done it in correct way for demand for their rights or not?
Actually you asked me a political question. right from the name of the party, our objection to benefits. You know, if they are really concerned about students and their welfare, the students themselves must be concerned. They must attend classes, right? Not go outside and do anything indisciplined way. And how many people were real students in that agitation? Have you seen their background? So it is masked, you know, people sometimes gather under somebody's banner without knowing the real issue. So I will tell you, we had an ICT, we had many collaborations with atomic energy. Atomic energy, IQAC, Indira Gandhi, you know, Center for Atomic Energy, Kolhapur. We had 25 projects on that. So I used to do that because many of my colleagues have projects. So, you know, there, in a way, we found there were people agitating against atomic energy. They were sitting there with a placard, okay, we don't want atomic energy. They were given money, they were given 2 times meals, they were taken by bus, they will sit there, they will hold the placard, and in the evening they will come. They were all paid by American missionaries. All. And when the government changed, it was known. Why? Because that project, that technology was developed with the help of Russia. Americans did not want India to have that technology. And we have live collaboration. I used to go there many times. So they have vested interest. So they gave money to this poor fellow. They don't know what for they are coming. They used to come because they get 500 rupees a day, 2 times meals, and they in the evening go back. The moment the government changed, it stopped. All of a sudden, it stopped. So you know, India has many enemies. Because India is growing fast. India is the most democratic country. I'm telling you that. Now, lived abroad number of years. I can tell you that India is the most democratic country. You go outside and you realize you don't have many rights. So I don't want to talk on politics. That's not good.
I have also questions. I'm not standing because my legs are little.
You are not scientist?
I'm not standing because my legs are little.
Oh, okay, no problem. No problem. You can sit down.
My question is not म्हणजे तुम्ही जे काय आता बोललात त्याच्याबद्दल
काही नाही. तुम्हाला कळालंच नाही का काय?
नाही नाही त्याच्या व्यतिरिक्त माझा प्रश्न आहे की तुम्हाला पद्मश्री मिळाला राईट सो व्हॉट वॉज द फिलिंग आफ्टर रिसिव्हिंग द पद्मश्री अवॉर्ड
Very good question. I tell you, you would not believe it if I tell you. One day I got a call from the ministry 2 days before the declaration. That is 26 January 2016 it was declared. So on 24th January I got a call from the ministry. They asked me for my name, date of birth and everything, and the person said, "Sir, राष्ट्रपति जी आपको पद्मश्री देना चाहते हैं, आप ले लोगे क्या?" तो मैं बोला ले लूँगा, क्यों नहीं ले लूँगा? लेकिन then that person said, "Do not tell anybody. We just want your acceptance. Otherwise, Rashtrapati will be embarrassed. If you declare and you don't accept, then we don't tell anybody." So I said, "Can I tell my wife?" So my wife, my son had come from USA that day, and they had gone for a movie. So I was at home. So he said, "No, but she should not tell anybody." I said, "Okay, I will not tell." And next day, 25th was a Monday. I was in my office. Okay? And from 2 o'clock onwards, they were showing the names who got it. My name was nowhere. 6 o'clock. So my secretary said, "Sir, can I go home?" I said, "Okay, I'm also going home." So I had that landline number. So I called that number. I said, "Yesterday I got a call from this number that I'm awarded, but I don't see my name anywhere. So you know what he said? We have not declared it. We will declare only at 6:30. So I said, but how come they are showing on the television? He said, they might have told the television people. And the best part actually. So yes, then I came to know. And on 27th of January, G 24 Stars had a program. And they had called me. That was decided much before. To give awards to youngsters. So I was a vice chancellor. So I went. And in the audience, we had Education Minister, Chief Minister, everybody was there. I was also seated with him. And that Uday, a good guy, he called me to the stage and felicitated me. And he said, Professor Yadav is given Padma Shri. The Chief Minister did not know it. None of the ministers knew it. None of the newspapers in Mumbai published it. I was a non-entity. After 10 or 15 days, Kolhapur newspapers published it. It was not known to anything. So it is of course a great feeling. You feel happy for you have been rewarded. And they treat you like a king, I must tell you. When they take you to the Chhatrapati Bhavan, 3 days you are put in a 5-star hotel, a car is given. And so my kids did not come, me and my wife were there. But it is a very good feeling. You feel happy that government is recognizing you. That's it, nothing more than that. But that is the honor of my institute and the students who work with me day and night. So there is a reward. You keep on working. Don't expect fruits. Karmanyeva adhikarasti. Do your duty. Anybody else? Now they are restless. The kids are restless. You are already sitting there, standing there. I now realize why.
I want to ask you a question on integration of AI in education. As you said that AI is developing in education a lot. Day by day AI is increasing its development in education. It can make notes, it can make quizzes, solve our doubts, and even any difficult concept can be cleared by AI. Why do you think that there can't be AI teachers in future?
No. I'm not saying AI teachers cannot be there, but they cannot substitute the real teacher. This madam cannot be substituted. You may have a clone in the classroom. No, because you know what happens? Human mind is highly chaotic. All these algorithms are highly structured. When you say random number generation, they are also systematic. Random numbers are never randomatic, they are always systematic. So human mind is so chaotic.
Then what will be the disadvantage for the generation if so happen in the future that they get chance to learn all the education from AI teachers?
No, there is nothing wrong if fundamental principles are being taught by AI and it tells you better ways. But you know what? Then when you are taught by AI, you have to ask many questions to the AI. Don't accept one same question you ask to AI 10 times. I can assure you that you will get 10 different answers. Content may remain the same, some idea may remain the, but the wording will definitely change. Why? You want to replace your teacher or what?
So,
Voila.
might be maybe the last question. So the main challenge is all the teachers and everybody is facing pan India is the lower percentage of students attending the classes. So many of the things we have learned from you that how to attract students. But this is pan India because the media is so proactive. The AI is so proactive. So the teachers' capacity, they want the AI, they don't want the teacher. So what is the thing that the teachers can do to attract them to higher education, especially because all the engineering colleges are full, but the higher education affiliated colleges are facing a issue. So because students are saying we need AI, so I think the training of the students, the
What is
teachers,
happening, I tell you?
yeah,
You have to embed AI in the engineering curriculum to get better things. Not so. I'm telling you now. IIT Hyderabad, they contacted me. They have started a program, AI Chemical Engineering. Why? Because they think they will not be able to attract good students. So don't you think it is a failure of the teachers also? It is a failure of the teacher also. If for example, people come to Rajaram College because it is one of the oldest, highly reputed college. But somebody else will say, I will go to new college or Gokhale College. Why Rajaram College? So reputation is built over the period of time. Therefore Rajaram College always. But may not have 50% faculty members are not. Correct? So the ground realities are sometimes totally different. And most of the time what happens, when you pay higher fees, you think you will get better teachers. Go to a doctor who gives you medicine in 100 rupees and go to a doctor who gives you medicine in 2000 rupees, you will say 2000 rupees doctor is better. Because we ourselves do the grading on the basis of the fee they charge. So private colleges also, I went to Middle East, in Dubai, and interacted with students. There are Indian colleges there, the BITS Pilani is there, MIT, Manipal, they are there. I went and interacted with them. All the students were from India. Hardly there was any all students were from India. They were all rich people's kids studying there. So it is money, no? It is money. It's not. So we believe that if somebody takes more money from your tuition fee, I don't know how much tuition fee they charge. I literally studied free, except the 200 rupees, whatever we paid. No, I don't know how much they charge, how many lakhs they charge. Yes, that boy is wanting to know. Yeah.
Last question.
Be loud and clear.
आवाज येणार नाही तर.
आवाज ऐकू येत नाही, पुढे या. Come here. त्याचा मोबाईल त्याला हे द्या. ठीक आहे, हे द्या.
What should be our most of the day to become an
Speak into the mic.
Hello. What should be our most of the day to become an Viksit Bharat?
Viksit Bharat. Yeah. Viksit Bharat will not happen unless people are highly educated. They understand their democratic rights and also duties. In our country, we know our rights but no duties. That is very important. And all women folk should be educated. My personal belief is that women's education should be free till PhD. It does not mean all women become PhD. Those who can or are able to go to the next level, they can go for maybe after bachelor's, master's, PhD, etc. But there is a condition that they are qualified to do that. What is going to happen at the next? When the girls are educated, social dividend, their marriageable age will increase. They will not be married at the age of 16, 18 months. They will have a sort of freedom to choose their own life partners. So population will automatically go down. Educated mothers will never want their kids to be, so-called bandicoots, luteras, and they will always want to be the best citizens. All educated mothers. They will give them. That is the advantage of educated mothers. They say a woman educated in woman at home is a generation of change. So within 2 generations, India can be great. So first thing is this. Women's education. Secondly, trimester system, what I told you, because if the youth is engaged in doing something and they earn their own money, I'm telling you that also. The first salary, some people go and give to the deity. मला salary मिळाली, खरेदी तुम्ही दिली असेल. Because the Lakshmi has come home, that's what you think, right? So see the young kids earning their own money. Now somebody else is earning their money. Parents are giving that money. The kid is not at all responsible for that. He's not at all responsible. Then he thinks all sorts of funny ways of behaving. Okay. They don't talk to their parents also. Some kids don't talk to their parents. बरोबर आहे ना? They don't talk because they think it is below dignity. माझे मित्र एवढे चांगले आहेत आणि माझे आई बाबा बावळट आहेत. म्हणतात की नाही? हा? मला ऐकू आलं नाही.
My concern, students are why so stressed nowadays.
They are not under stress. I told you the stress is because of these parents are. Your parents are अरे बाळा तू मोठा अधिकारी हो. अभ्यास न करता अधिकारी हो कसा होऊ शकेल? होणार नाही. Parents must start ethics. I tell you interesting thing. I saw a video. I want to be included in my lecture. Young Brazilian girl, judo player, young Brazilian judo player. She won the championship. She must be about 10 years old. So she said like this. She looked at the heaven, said, "God, you did great." Everything she said. She was very happy. She went to the girl whom she had defeated, and she said, "Sit on my back." She took that second number defeated on her back and took a round of the stadium. What a humility. She had won the match, but she said that opponent was equally important. She took her on her back and took a round of the stadium. That is the best example of humility. She was a winner, but she did not start dancing. She took that defeated girl on her shoulder. That is what parents should teach. Parents should teach humility.
वेळेअभावी आपण प्रश्न थांबवतोय ना.
थांबवा.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening and thought-provoking lecture. On behalf of all faculty members, I am ensure you, sir, as a teacher, I am saying teacher, not a professor, and of course a parent, we will try to recognize an actual potential of our students and our kids and try to make them faster, stronger and higher to become a responsible pillar of Viksit Bharat 2047. A great lecture does not simply provide answers, it generates questions and inspire young minds to explore further. And thank you, sir, for doing such a thing to our students and for such a good lecture. Thank you once again, sir. Now we proceed.